Hi, good evening. How's it going? Hello, my name is Riley. Welcome to our living room. We're very excited to have you this evening for what's sure to be a magical conversation. Our conversation partner this evening, Lauren Z. Schneider, is a licensed marriage and family therapist with more than 30 years of experience. She's the creator of Tarotpy, a therapeutic tool that combines tarot, dream imagery, and soul cards to access unconscious wisdom. Her latest book, Tarotpy, It's All in the Cards, has received multiple national awards, including a gold medal from the Living Now Book Awards. Our featured author tonight, Kelly Sullivan Walden, is an international best-selling author of 10 books, a certified clinical hypnotherapist, and an award-winning dreams expert, known to many as Dr. Dream. She is the creator of the Kelly Sullivan Walden Show and the founder of Dreamwork Practitioner Training, which helps people around the world develop dream mastery. Her newest book, Dreamifesting, continues this mission, guiding us to see our dreams as portals to healing, wisdom, and transformation. Please join me in welcoming Lauren and Kelly.
Thank you, Riley.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Riley. Thank you, everyone, for being here.
Hi, everyone. Thank you.
Oh, my
Oh, my
heavens.
gosh, we need a stool to get up here.
I'm freaking out. Okay, hold on. I got Nancy here. Round of applause for Nancy. My oldest best friend since we were 7 years old. Many dreams about that one. Lauren Schneider. Give it up for Lauren Schneider. And Riley.
And my soul sister, dream sister, Kelly. Okay, I just want to say, first I want to figure out how to get in this chair.
I know. Ooh, it's quite
I want to say
this space is
that-
amazing.
Yes,
We should do a round of applause for
Yeah.
Godmothers.
absolutely gorgeous.
I love it
Riley,
here.
Sammy,
I'm never
thank
leaving.
you. Kelly, I want to say, this book's a dream. So I love everything dreams. My shelves are lined with dream books. I love reading about dreams. I love being told dreams. But the truth is that a lot of people write dreams from the waking self. This book is written as a dream. It's wildly creative, imaginative, hilarious, really punny. It is
I'm from Whittier, after all. So, but okay, sorry.
profound wisdom that I have to say goes beyond the dream, but you so trust the dream. And I actually wanted to read something about your dedication for this book.
I love how dog-eared Lauren's
It's-
copy of the book is. This is one of those books you don't have to be reverent with. Coffee
It's
stains, tea stains.
So dog-eared and drawn
Notes.
up, and it also, I swear, if I opened it up and pointed it at you, brilliant light would come out of it. It is transformational. Okay, this is what the book is dedicated to. Reminding you of who you really are, why you're really here, and what you're really here to do. We'll all do that starting point with the premise that you, yes, you, are already a success because regardless of the status of your bank account, relationships, police record, or reputation in polite society, consider that at the least you won the biological lottery.
The fact that you're even born, not just because of your, woman, but yes, yeah, you've already won the lottery in so many ways. The
Well-
things that it took to get you here, to make it to this stage in your life, means you're already a success. I just heard Daryl Anka say the other day, when all else fails, change your definition of success. So it's like you're already successful, and then everything you do from here is whipped cream.
What I love is your book is about how to polish the soul, how to get soul's guidance, soul goals, soul purpose from the dreams. And I'd love you to define for people, what is dreamifesting?
Okay, what is dreamifesting? So let's talk about dreams. What is a dream? I kind of want to do popcorn. I want people to throw things out. What's a dream? Just throw out a word. Collective. Imagination. Unconscious. Subconscious. Another reality. That and so much more. So for me, my perspective, dreams are a bridge to our other than conscious self. And so we could say, I mean, I'm going to get a little technical according to the American Hypnosis Association, our conscious mind, that's our logic, our rational thinking, is at best 12% of our mind's power, whereas our subconscious dreaming mind is 88% of our mind's power. And yet for most people, we live in our 12%. We, as soon as we wake up in the morning to the moment we go to sleep at night, crash on that pillow, we've been in our 12%. We've ignored entirely our 88%, which is our dreaming mind, our intuition, our feeling sense, our all the goosebumps and that's all part of the dreaming mind. So we dream when we're awake. We're dreaming all the time. We're dreaming right here, right now, and we are in Godmothers, and this is a really good dream. So dreams, in some way, we could say, run the gamut from the very simple, practical ways that our intuition speaks to us about don't eat that, like one story about some woman that had this unbelievable stomach ache for years and years and years, and then had a dream that she was being arrested, and the policeman told her to walk and breathe into this breathalyzer, and he said, "You absolutely are lactose intolerant. Go into jail." She's like, "What?" So she looks up what it means to be lactose intolerant. Turns out that was the reason for her uncontrollable stomach aches for years. So her other than conscious self came in and gave her something very practical. But then there's the practical, and then there's like all the way to the woo, to the woo, to the woo, where we can hang out with our departed loved ones that we miss like crazy. My friend Gypsy passed away 5 years ago, yesterday, or 2 days ago on my book launch day. It was her birthday. So I feel like the people that we loved, our friend Teresa, another best friend, we can hang out with them on the other side. But then we can go beyond that. We can hang out with people we've never met before. We can connect with consciousnesses, angels, unicorns, beings that are off planet. Bashar, who I just interviewed on my Dreamifesting podcast, I mean, you could talk to people that are on different planets, and all of it for the purpose of expanding our consciousness, I think, so that we can ultimately be here with more confidence, more like, wow, I just had a peek behind the curtain. I'm not scared. Whatever, bring it, mother, whatever. Like we've got this. We can handle this. So yeah,
so this
that's a
goes
little
right to what is dreamifesting?
Oh, dreamifesting. Okay, that's dreams. Then we all know what. Okay, manifesting. Let's do some more popcorn. What is manifesting? Making real. Yes, manifesting. Creating new. Very good. Yep. Anybody else? What is it to manifest? Building. Absolutely. So think of somebody pulling a rabbit out of a hat, like creating something that didn't exist, and then it suddenly exists. In the book, I talk about manifesting, womanifesting, and dreamifesting. So just to kind of delineate, we all have masculine and feminine energies within us, whether we're a man or a woman. So manifesting, we could say at an extreme, is pushing the boulder uphill, making something happen, come hell or high water, get the hell out of my way, move it, buddy, I'm making this happen. That's extreme manifesting. Powerful, it can make things happen. Extreme womanifesting is, help me, I can't do it myself. Somebody do it for me before I bug the shit out of you with my tears. People are like, just make her stop, give her what she needs. So that's extreme womanifesting. Dreamifesting is where we take the best of manifesting, a little bit of oomph, the best of womanifesting, a little bit of allowing, a little help from our friends, and then we stand in the sweet spot between heaven and earth and call on our higher selves, and we allow our dreams to nudge us or tweak our consciousness, or to do the heavy lifting for the things, to make manifest the things that we desire in our lives. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's Dreamifesting.
Would you tell a story about a favorite Dreamifesting experience of yours?
Oh, Lord.
Oh,
Okay, I'll just tell one. This is one crazy one that comes to mind. This isn't one that's in the book, although I should probably tell one that's in the book. I'll tell one that was in the book. I'll tell both? Okay. I'll tell the one that's not in the book, although it should be. Okay, here's one. Dana, don't watch. I hope Dana's not watching wherever the stream is. Dana, cover your eyes and your ears. Years ago, we were in a fight, my husband and I. We've been married for 23 years, and I love this man. He is my soulmate, and there's a story about him, how we came together. That's 3 stories. But we were in an argument, and I was pissed off. And before I went to sleep, I did what I asked my dreams to do. Whatever's unfinished business, I asked my dreams to help me with. So I was saying, help me figure this out, dreams. And then I thought, screw that. Fix it. Dreams, fix it. Like, I don't want just a little nudge in the right direction. I just want you to fix it. Good night. I went to sleep. That night, I had a dream that Dana, my husband, was a little boy, like maybe 5 or 6 years old, and he was playing with some blocks. And I was standing over him. He couldn't see me. And I was like, oh my God, he's so sweet. Look at this precious little thing. Oh my God. And then this voice from behind me, it was like this archangel behind me said, so why not try loving him? And I say to the angel, I'm like, yeah, but he could be such a jerk sometimes. Why not try loving him? Why not try loving him? Over and over. I'm like, oh, okay, fine. So I just kind of let the floodgates of my heart open, and I just loved him. This precious little boy. I woke up in the morning, my pillow drenched with tears. I looked over at Dana. He had the sweetest look on his face, and whatever we were fighting about, I forgot all about. It was just gone. So I asked my dreams to help. I gave it a demand. I didn't just say, maybe you could give me it was like, fix it. And I don't think our dreams mind it when we do that. And it did. It fixed it. And my relationship, I mean, I've done that several times over the years. Sometimes your soulmates bring up your stuff. Anybody relate to that? Anybody? No? Okay. No. But yeah, so Dreamifesting helped me with my relationship. That's one practical thing.
Well, there's another story in there that I really related to, and I'd love you to tell that one. Because I think we all have within us these splits, like a side of us that is brilliant and a side of us that feels so small and so insignificant. And you were dealing with one of those splits, and you asked your dream to heal it. Could you talk about that?
First of all, I just love you, Lauren. I'm so grateful that you're here. Could we just give one more round of applause to Lauren Z. Schneider, author of Tarotpy, which is such a brilliant book, Tarotpy. I just love you. And because of Lauren, I'm a member of the International Association for the Study of Dreams, IASD. I will follow this woman anywhere she goes, all the way to Santa Barbara and beyond.
It's so mutual. But I would love to say, since you did just talk about IASD, the International Association for the Study of Dreams is a gathering of dream people from every different perspective. So you have scientists and shamans and artists and Jungians and Freudians. And when I arrived there, it was like going to Hogwarts. It is magical.
It's grown up
and
Hogwarts.
So we belong there.
We belong. Okay, so this dream, so early in the book, in kind of my little bio section, I talk about how I've struggled in my life with this. Sometimes, I'm just going to tell you about the dream. Before I went to bed, I was just struggling with feeling like, let's just call it poverty consciousness. Like, why me? Poor me. Why does everything happen to them? And why me? So in my dream, so I'll just do the details. So I was walking through this beautiful, extraordinary mansion, and I was like dancing through it. I felt like it was mine, and there was like giant, just sconces and and chandeliers, and it was beautiful. And in the book, I do a little amalgamized version, but this one section is, I turn a corner and there's a little thrift store in the mansion. All my books were selling there, and I was like, hey, what's up with that? That sucks. And I hear this, you live in the mansion of expansion is always available to you, yet you often live in the lack shack. And yet you can live in the mansion of expansion. So I woke up from that dream and I felt expanded and yet a little annoyed. Like, can't I just have the mansion of expansion? And so I did my little jet set formula that's in the book. It's a way of being able to decode your dreams so you never have to spend all day scratching your head saying, what the hell did that dream mean? It's a way of being able to break it down. So I did that with my dream, and I came to this place where practicing what I preach, it's not always easy, but I always say that everything and everyone in the dream, I borrow this from Carl Jung, is a part of ourselves, and every part is lovable. Even the most hideous, even the most annoying, even the scariest. So it's like, so this lack shack is a part of me. And so as I was writing, what's good about, because I do that, what's good about this part? What's good about this scary creature? What's good about the lack shack? And I, as I was journaling, thought, there's a part of me that is scrappy, because I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I've had to maximize whatever I've got. I've had to make the most out of it. I'm grateful that I'm sure I take a lot for granted. I probably do because I'm human, but most things I really, really appreciate. So yeah, I don't want to get rid of my lack shack part. I don't want it to run my life. I'd rather have the mansion of expansion aspect run my life, but I don't want to get rid of the lack shack. And I realized I can have it all. I can have the scrappy part of me and the part that keeps expanding in consciousness and toward better, more beautiful things in my life. But it helped me to bridge this split in me, so I wasn't feeling so schizophrenic within myself. So yeah, that was a big one.
Well, there's a lot of those kinds of stories because this book really is about transformation. You know, and I think you talk about it in so many different ways. There are so many exercises and formulas in this book that are about how we can use our dreams for transformation. And it's, again, on a level of consciousness, it's so much bigger. So what I love is your metaphor of taking flight, which you take throughout the book. This book is a workbook also. It will take you through a transformational process. In fact, if I have time, I would love to share the nightmare that I had in the middle of reading your book. And how I worked your formula, and it was profound. Okay, I'll come back to that.
Okay.
But I would love to talk about this metaphor of flight.
Okay.
Which is about getting to a higher plane, right?
Yes.
Right?
So anybody here have a flying dream? Ever have a flying dream? Yeah. And if you haven't, you can imagine what it would be like if you were flying. So usually among all the dreams in the pantheon of dreams, flying dreams tend to be like one of the best dreams we can have. And from my perspective, it represents that you're becoming liberated from your earthbound shackles, that you're having some realization, oh my God, I'm not just a human being that has occasional spiritual experience. I'm a spiritual being that's having an occasional little teeny human experience. Oh my God, I am more than this. And there's solutions. It's beautiful. And so I realized that in many ways, what we want from a flying dream, because I believe every dream, they're not just over when we wake up. Dreams live forever on a parallel plane. We can dip back into any positive, really happy dream to build our wings and to keep growing. So flight is a really powerful metaphor. It's, if I could say in a word what I want people to get from Dreamifesting, it's the ability to fly at will, to be able to tap into flight consciousness. So I have a funny little thing I do before you can board Dreamifesting Airlines. You're not allowed to bring in every bit of your baggage. Everybody you know, every difficult thing you've ever had. It's like, sorry, you got to travel light if you're going to go on board Dreamifesting airline. So you have to. So there's a process by which you let go of some things, and And then in order to take flight, there's a moment where you imagine that you're sitting on Dreamifesting Airlines and you open up the flight book that's in front of you and you have this thought of like, oh my God, how is this, how many tons, a 30-ton thing gonna lift off the ground and take me somewhere? Oh my God. So I did a little research to discover what the 4 forces of flight are. That's fun to say. Can everybody say that? 4 forces of flight. 4 forces of flight. Sorry, I don't know why I've got a potty mouth.
And you recorded.
I'm in such a lovely place. 4 forces of flight. This is how airplanes fly, but it's also about how to Dreamifest. It's a perfect metaphor. So one of the 4 forces is lift. So lifting is, you know, we gotta lift. We gotta be able to take off. So we have to be able to have, like Michael Beckwith says, pain pushes until inspiration pulls. So we want to have a vision of what we want. What do we want out of this? Where are we heading? So we can't just be in the mire of the difficult things that we're grappling with. We want to know, we want to have some little peek of what's ahead. So that's we could say that's part of the soul goal aspect of this. There's a whole section on that. Anyway, lift is important. And then we've got gravity, we've got weight. So if we only had lift, what would happen to us? If we only had lift, we'd keep going and it'd be fun for a while, but then we'd be like, but, wait a minute, my family, my projects, my dogs, my like, I want to lift, but I want to be able to come back down. I need at least one tippy toe on the ground. So the weight is about doing some of the heavier work. There's nothing wrong with us. In a lot of manifesting work, there's a lot of focus on the lift and the thrust, which is what comes next. This like, go get 'em. But there's not a lot of talk of the weight and the drag. These are the things that pull us back. So we think there's something wrong with us when we've had this great day and then the next day we're just not feeling it. We're feeling a little depressed, it's not working, or we made great strides yesterday but we just don't feel like going to the gym again today, or a family member or a job situation, something pulls us back and we think, oh no, all is lost. No, it's part of it. We need that. Imagine if we just had the thrust without the drag. Again, we'd just keep going and we'd be manic. It would be unhealthy. It wouldn't work. So the processes in the workbook are meant to give you a little taste of each for each week of the 12-week workshop so that you have a little bit of all of those things in a way that you embrace. And to me, it was a really powerful thing to learn because I was of the thought, like, once I have a breakthrough, I'll just keep on breaking through. And something's wrong when there's some kind of a glitch in the system or something that stops me or slows me down. And to eradicate that is quite liberating. So I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, so this is kind of an example of how transcendent this book is, but also how deep it is. And you have this way of really integrating the left brain, this knowledge, and inquisitiveness to find out what words mean and what are the different aspects of flight with this incredibly creative side. And so it really takes you through a process that's very deep about how we transform and how we embrace all these different parts of ourselves, which is, of course, is what dreams allow us to do.
Right.
And one of my favorite things is when you talk about how to transform our ego goals into our soul goals. Because I don't want to say why, but could you talk about that?
Yes.
Why that's so important?
Yes. And let me just get this little thought out of my craw. I want to say kind of a little bit of the behind the scenes of this book. It's kind of fun. Years ago in my 20s, I did the Artist's Way. Anybody here ever do the Artist's Way or hear of it? And I did it once, and some friends found out that I had done it, and they said, would you help facilitate a group of some friends, because we want to do the Artist's Way, but we've never done it. We need a group leader. So I was like, sure. So I did it again, and then people kept asking me, and finally I had my own group, and that group didn't want to stop after the 12 weeks were done. So I ended up doing the Artist's Way probably, I don't know, 25, 50 times over and over and over as a facilitator. And every time I just kept growing, and I would revisit the materials, and it was, so the Artist's Way, Julia Cameron, shout out to you. It was so important to me. So I always thought one day I want to do a 12-week workbook similar to that, where it's creative and expansive. I loved the format because it's something that you can actually do in bite-sized pieces. It's something you can do in a group. And you learn and you grow and you deepen with people. So I kind of had the Artist's Way running in the background of my consciousness as I created the workbook aspect of this. So I got a call one day about a year ago from my agent, and she said, the publisher from the Artist's Way wants to publish your book. I went, what? So Joel Fotinos he's now got his own imprint at St. Martin's Essentials, but when we got on the phone for the first time on Zoom, he said, I see this as the Artist's Way, but adding the dream element that the Artist's Way didn't. The Artist's Way gives nod to dreams, but it doesn't have it as a through line throughout. This is like the next Artist's Way. And I went, oh my God. So who knows if it actually is, but I've been facilitating Dreamifesting workshops, and it seems like it's got a lot of that buzz. So I just thought it's kind of a fun thing behind the scenes. Did you know that?
Dreamifesting
Yeah, exactly.
Story.
Exactly.
No, it's fabulous. I had not known that.
Yeah. Okay, so ego goals versus soul goals. So I imagine everybody here, if I was a genie and I said, you all get 3 wishes, within a minute, you'd be able to rattle them off, yeah? Think about it for 1 second. What would your 3 wishes be? At least one. Just think of one wish. Raise your hand if you have one wish that you would have a genie grant you, but you'd have to come up with it right now. So some of you have a little paralysis analysis. Just pick something. First thing that comes to your mind. Okay. So you don't have to say what it is, but from my experience, most people, the first thing they pick, some people that are very high consciousness people are like world peace. But most people are like, what's that?
I didn't
That's
go there.
Laura. There's usually something very personal that you pick, and sometimes it tends to be in the category of health, wealth, relationships, job, home. There's a very small handful of things that we tend to pick. So I would say that's the low-hanging fruit. We start there. What do you want? Because you're a human. You should have these things. It's totally fine to want those things. Let's start there. It's like your ticket to the party is to have this desire. So identify what you want. So I call, just for the sake of distinction, I don't think the ego is a bad thing, by the way. When I call these goals an ego goal, they're of the human aspect of you. They're gonna help your body, your being, have a better life if you had that thing. Yeah. Okay. So in order to get to the soul goal aspect, the soul goal version of this doesn't eliminate the ego, but let's just stick with the thing that you are wanting, the ego goal, the thing that the genie would grant you. Everybody still have it in your mind? Okay. So let's imagine, bing, you've got it. It just happened. Okay? I told ya, paralysis analysis. Pick something. Pick world peace then. Go ahead. See, it already happened. Oh.
Clever.
You know that
genie.
all the genies always say you're not supposed to pick that one. It's okay. It's true. Okay, you can have anything you wish for. Fine. She found the loophole. Sure. Okay. All right. So stick with that. So you have what you wanted. What does that give you? If you have that thing that you wanted, just kind of throw out, let's do the little popcorn. What is that? What are you present to energetically if you know for sure that thing that you wished for is a reality? A word. Good.
Personal, emotional peace.
Emotional peace. Very good. Freedom. 2 freedoms. Wow. Freedom. 3 freedoms. 3 freedoms. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so I know for me, there's like, there's just ease. There's finally like the shackles fall off and there's like a relief. Okay, so you've got that. Now go one layer deeper. What does that allow you to feel? So what's under that? Wonderful. Yeah, what else is under that? Abundance.
Trust in the universe.
Trust in the universe. Love. That's the soul goal. So they relate to each other. One doesn't exclude or preclude the other. They're part of a continuum. So before going to bed, and this is your assignment for tonight, so you can practice Dreamifesting immediately before you even get the book, before you even read it. This will help you deepen it. But the process is very simple. It's to identify your ego goal that gives rise to your soul goal. So now you know what those two things are. So your job is to either write them down. Writing things down is a very important thing to do. So write down both of them just on a slip of paper, even if it's just on your phone in your notes section. That's fine. But then I want you to look for something that represents both of those things. So it could be a rock. It could be just a sweet little rock. It could be a crystal. It could be a piece of jewelry. It could be a picture of yourself when, like a happy picture. It's something in the physical world that represents both of those things. If it's the Ferrari and the freedom that you feel because you've got the Ferrari, a picture of the Ferrari maybe, and maybe the picture of Lady Liberty is freedom, or whatever that would be to you. Those two things, set them on your nightstand. Touch them, look at them, take a breath with them before you go to sleep. And then go into sleeping, go into dreaming. And it's as if you're passing the baton to your dreams to say, help me with this. It's kind of like when I set that intention, hey, dreams, fix it with my relationship. You're saying, this is what I'm working on, dreams. Help me see what's either in my blind spot that's keeping me from already having it, or what might thrust me toward these things with more ease and grace. Go to sleep. Pay attention to a dream upon awakening. Write it down. Put it through my jet set formula that's in there, and then take some action. So that's the basic recipe. I can repeat it later if you'd like. There's kind of, I know I made it sound simple. It's not 100% simple, but it's relatively simple. Anyway, ego goals, soul goals. That's the idea. Once you have the soul goal, have it as just a little touchstone thought before you go to sleep at night, so that your dreams are percolating on that, and then you're off to the races. I hope that answered your question. Probably
Very
20
much,
more. Okay.
Very much. So now could we talk about nightmares?
Nightmares, yes.
Yes.
Yours
And
in
maybe
particular.
one specifically, yes.
Let me say one thing.
Please.
So sometimes, has anybody ever had a swimming pool or known anybody with a swimming pool? I used to have a swimming pool when I was little, and sometimes I'd be in charge of cleaning the swimming pool, and we'd have these big brooms, and I'd be, the pool would look fine. I'd be like, Mom, I don't need to clean it. It's fine. She'd be like, no, you got to clean the pool. So you get the broom and you start pushing the leaves and the debris from underneath, and then it all comes to the surface, and the pool looks like crap. And then you have to get the skimmer and get all the stuff off the top, and then you've actually got a clean pool. So it's kind of like that when you do some dreamifesting work. What might seem fine on the surface is lovely, but some things do get dredged up. Sometimes things get hard before they get better. They're not pretty before they get pretty. So it happens sometimes in the beginning of dreamifesting that some of the sediment that's at the bottom of the swimming pool comes up because there wasn't a space for it to actually get skimmed off and go before. So it's not a horrible thing. They're not going to last forever. I promise. There's a system for how to work with the nightmares in the book. But the nightmares, I always say they're actually rightmares in disguise. They're trying to help you do something. They're trying to help correct something that's funky, so that it can stop being so funky. Okay. Tell us
So
about it.
another thing that you say is a nightmare is a dream that's unfinished.
Yes, a Nightmare is an unfinished dream. The 6 words that changed my life. My original therapist, first OG therapist, said that to me. Because I had dismissed my dreams for the longest time, paying attention to the outer dream, trying to manifest out here. That almost killed me. Quarter life crisis, wanted to exit the planet for real. A therapist, I'm going into therapy, and then all of a sudden my dreams come back, but they were all wolves chasing me, horrible things. And I'm like, oh, great, I got my dreams back, but they're horrible. And she's like, a nightmare is an unfinished dream. And that changed everything. So
that's what I want to weave into, is that wolf dream and then another dream. So
yes.
There was a couple weeks ago, I couldn't sleep because I was super nervous about doing an interview with Kelly here. So I opened up to a page in the book, and I opened up to a story.
Oh, God.
When Kelly couldn't sleep because she was super anxious about going on a television interview in front of millions of people. And I just happened to open up to that story. So Kelly had a wonderful formula for going to sleep, which is bless everybody you know. Send out good thoughts to everybody you know, and then she was able to fall asleep.
Yeah.
And she has a dream. Would you tell the dream?
Okay. I will say this. Okay, wait. If you get nothing else out of being here tonight, hear this. One of the best hacks in the whole wide world, if you do nothing else but this will change your whole life. Before you go to sleep, yes, think about your own dreams and your own things that you want to manifest. But if you do this, if you say to the universe, to God, to whoever you pray to, may the dreams I have tonight help the world. Oh my God. The things that shift, the things that come out of that, oh my God. I mean, if you don't do anything else but that, things will friggin' change. Dreams. May my dreams help the world.
Put a pin in that, because I want to come back to that.
Yeah, I could have just said that on one page and then been done.
That's really what's the whole book's about.
Yeah.
We'll circle back to it.
Yes, we will. And that doesn't leave you out of the equation. P.S. Okay.
Okay, so
should I tell
you
that
have
dream?
a dream.
Okay, so this is, I'm in New York City about to do a big television show. I'm scared to death. The producer kept me up until the wee hours of the night saying, you got to remember the script. I'm like, oh my God, what is this, Broadway? I'm just a dream person. I'm not an actress anymore. I don't remember how to remember lines. Oh my God. And I'm supposed to get on the show tomorrow and talk about the benefits of sleep when I'm not going to get any sleep tonight. Thanks a lot. Oh my God. So I begged the universe, please help me sleep. And oh yes, let my dreams help the rest of the world. Yeah, right. And help me too. Okay. So at least I asked that, but that calmed me down. There's something about asking for something higher than yourself. It's just so friggin' smart, because it's as if to say, I'm well enough that I have the wherewithal to even think about the world. Like there's something that shifts in that. So I fell asleep for a few hours. Thank the Lord. The only dream I remembered when I woke up in the morning was simply this blonde woman in a bed curled up with a cat, and they were both purring together. Everybody with me. So I was in bed, having that dream. I was in the midst of this purr, and this woman, I'm going to call her the cat woman. I'm allergic to cats, by the way. I'm a dog person, so that was kind of odd to me. Why wasn't it a dog? Why a cat? Whatever. I'll get back to that maybe. But the feeling of this dream calmed me down, and it centered me so much that I was like the Zen queen of the universe, walking on the set, I mean, it was mayhem. There were people screaming at each other, other guests for the segment crying, oh my God, I mean, nervous breakdowns, pandemonium. And I was like, I had that dream with me. And of course, I'm like, and may the whole world have some bit of this purr. But, and the show went without a hitch. I was calm with 1,000 bright lights on me, big old studio audience with so much. And I was even able to go off script. And I know the producer was like, ugh. But it went great. And the host asked me questions afterwards. They wanted me. It was just, it couldn't have gone better. And it would absolutely not have gone that way had I not had that dream, and if I hadn't remembered it, and if I hadn't worked with it, if I hadn't. And there was something about asking that bigger picture, like, may this help? I mean, who knows if it ever helped anybody else, but there was something about that part of my brain that what if it does, that came back to me. It didn't leave me out of the equation, and maybe it did do some good somewhere. Okay, back to you. So that's the dream. That's the piece that you read.
Yes, so I read this beautiful dream that calmed you down, and then I went to sleep. And I had a dream in which I put a lioness and a cub in a compound, and then I am driving with a couple women, and I'm holding a big wide-mouthed flare gun, and I know I'm going to go kill that lioness. Now, I don't know if any of you have nightmares, but we tend to wake up from a nightmare going, oh my God, I am so ashamed, if not horrified by this dream. A cat also, but here I'm going to kill it. So I took a couple days of feeling really crappy about myself, and then I did Jet Set, and I worked Kelly's formula.
Should I say what Jet Set is really quick?
Okay, so Jet.
So this is the dream, this is my dream interpretation formula, a way to be able to work with it so that you can mine some of the gold. Simply J, and remember, our dreams are here to help us fly. That's why Jet Set. Clever, hey? Okay. I'm from Whittier, whatever. Okay, J is for just the facts, ma'am. Don't judge it. Just write down whatever happened in the dream. E is for the emotion. How did the dream make you feel? What was the energy of the dream? T is for the title, as if you were the Spielberg of your dream and you could give it any title you want as if it were a major motion picture. First thought. The next S is for the standout symbols. You don't have to go wild on every single part of the dream, but just the standout aspects of the dream. And what do they mean to you? The next E is for the embodiment. This is where you take it from being an intellectual activity, paying attention to dreams. It's where you imagine that you are the lion, you are the cub, you are the little kitty cat, it's in your body, you feel it. And then finally the T is for the touchdown. It's the tangible. It's instead of your dreams being up here, it's where I believe every remembered dream requires some form of action in our waking life. So the T is, what are you going to do about it? What's the tangible thing you'll do with your dream? Okay, back to
Okay, so I gave you just the facts. The emotions, horror and shame. The title was Kill the Lioness. The symbols, so I'm just going to quickly, a compound. I started to look at, am I compounding the problem? So I'm driving myself.
Always do the looking at the wordplay.
Yeah, I've been driving myself as the masculine part of me, and now I'm doing women empowerment. So I'm driving with women, and I'm compounding the problem because I am driving and striving in my feminine empowerment, which is killing my wild feminine body and energy. The flare gun, it's not just a gun, it's a wide-mouth flare gun. This is an SOS signal. And the embodiment, I became the lioness. And we could go into, I also riffed off of your dream of running from the wolves and how you went back into the dream so that I could go back and let the lioness embody me, devour me, and then I could embody her. So it was profound. It was a profound wake-up call. And I just so appreciated it. I mean, I know that nightmares are a wake-up call for healing, but this jet set formula just got right down to the heart of it.
What did you do? What was your tangible thing that you did with it besides talking
Well,
about
if
it
I
with
put
all
my
of us?
jacket on, you'll see I'm walking like a lioness.
Oh, nice.
So
The tangible could be that you just
roaring,
tell somebody,
fierce,
wear something.
feel what it's like to walk in that body.
Yes.
That fierce and calm.
And she did something else that I talk about in the book, and it's not, I didn't make this up, but where you can pick the dream up where you left it off. And remember, a nightmare is an unfinished dream. The dream ain't over until you're happy with this dream, until you're empowered. So if you're unempowered or even frustrated, it ain't over. Go back in. So in Lauren's dream, she let the lion do the devouring. She let herself be gobbled up by the lion so that she's now inside the lion. And that's a very different feeling. But if it were my dream, I might also think, if I could just touch on that for a second.
Please.
And I know we have questions. If you all have questions, we're going to be putting you on the spot in a minute or two, if you're open to it. But I might say, like, there's that saying. I hate this saying. It's one of my most. If you see the Buddha in the road, kill him, because otherwise you will follow him forever. So I might. There's some part of like killing something in a dream is also about having power over it.
Oh.
Right?
Okay, well, that was the part I wasn't going to tell.
Oh, okay.
Again,
Let's
this
it's
was
just us here,
this
right?
was a huge epiphany. But the fact that I was going to kill a mother, a lioness, oh my God, I got in touch with rage from being a kid. So it was very powerful to own that rage. And we don't have to go further with that, but that's how incredibly transforming working with the dreams are. And I know we want to pass the mic and turn it over to this group as well, because you and I can talk for
We could talk for
hours.
years and years and years. And I still have my godmother's dream that I have to tell. At the end of the book, there's a big godmother's dream. So that's kind of magical that my first live book event is here at Godmothers. So it's kind of amazing. I didn't even know there was this bookstore until, so yeah, okay. So any questions?
I would be happy to pass this mic around and... Okay, I'm happy to repeat.
Any questions? Oh, yes. And what's your name? Hi, Erica.
Okay.
I mean, I'm still new to dreamwork and stuff, but I just was curious, what are your thoughts about recurring dreams?
Yes.
Dreams that continue, you keep experiencing them
Yeah.
throughout years, and it's the same.
Oh, yes. Okay, I've got a lot to say. I'm sure you do too. Okay, so Erica just asked about recurring dreams. Anybody here else have recurring dreams? Yeah? So one way of looking at them from my perspective is recurring dreams are the cosmic highlighter pen saying, pay attention, this is important, this is unresolved. I don't think our dreaming self wastes our time just being in a loop just for fun. I think there's Jeremy Taylor, the late great Jeremy Taylor, said our dreams never tell us what we already know. So it's kind of like you keep going back. Oh, she's having a oh, I love it. I just got the goosies too. Jeremy Taylor's in the house. Oh, yeah. So it means that there's like an unsolved mystery. This is it. Pay attention, drill here, keep going. That said, there is also this other perspective that we humans are habit makers, and we all have certain people, places, and circumstances that we tend to have as our typical dreamscape. In my dreams, almost every night my husband cracks up, I'm at a retreat. He's like, let me guess. You were at a retreat last night. I'm like, shut up. Yes, there's something different. So we might all have that childhood home situation, but like Carl Jung, he had this neighborhood that he kept returning to. It wasn't anything that resembled waking reality. He had a whole stable reality that he kept going back to in his dreams. So there is something about the habitual nature of being human. We will have a certain playlist that is ours, but mostly I tend to think drill here, keep going, go deeper, do another jet set the hell out of that thing until it stops. Once it stops, then it's kind of like the cosmic FedEx person that keeps giving you the little slip saying you haven't picked up the thing. You haven't picked up the thing. You're like, oh my God, stop giving me those little slips. Well, then you go pick up the package. And then it will stop. It'll move on to something else. Anything else?
No, I think that's perfect.
Okay.
Any, yes.
Are the most elementary question.
Great.
How do you remember dreams? I don't.
Yes. Without remembering dreams, it's hard to play. Although you certainly can do the workbook without remembering dreams, then I bet you're going to start. So one way, here's the little shameless plug, is to read this before you go to sleep, and that will be like a little trigger for your subconscious mind. Any dream-centric book that you read before you go to sleep is going to help you dream. It's going to help you remember, oh yes, that's right, I want to remember my dreams. Also, here's another sneaky, sneaky trick. I love my grandma Sullivan was very sneaky. So every time I say that word, I know I'm channeling her. What you can do is just for 1 week, write something down in the morning. First thing before you check the news, check social media, check anything else. Write your first thoughts upon awakening. Even if they're not exactly a dream, they're likely dream adjacent. So just write those down. And it will be like the field of dreams, build it, they will come. If you just create a practice of writing down your first thoughts upon awakening, even if you're irritated, oh my God, the dog woke me up, just write that down. Or why is that song in my head? That's something. Whatever's there tends to be related in some way to dreams. And there's so many other things you can do, but those I think will be helpful. You're so welcome. Thank you.
This concept of going back to a dream,
Yes.
I wasn't sure what that was. Like, did you go back to it in your waking life, or did you go back to it when you were dreaming?
Okay, yes, and sometimes you can re-enter a dream. So you get up, you use the restroom, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, I want to go back into that dream. So sometimes you can. Often, sometimes it's, I don't know what the data is on this, but I find that there's something in the physical way that we reconnect with where our body was when we were having that dream that can help us get back into the dream. But at the very least, even if you're not able to re-enter it from the actual dream, like while you're asleep and unconscious, the fact that you remember a dream in your waking state is enough. Because in your waking state, if you, like Lauren just talked about her dream about the cub and the lioness, she is tapping into that wavelength that she was on when she was in the dream. And she could continue it. We could all be in that dream with her and say, well, why not try like the choose your own adventure story? Well, what if you rode on its back instead? Or what if you shot the flare gun in the air and then a trooper came down and they helped you? And what if your mother did show? I mean, there could be so many different outcomes, and we could try all of those until Lauren says, aha, that's the one. That's the epiphany. Then now I deem that this dream is over. So I used to think, I thought I made this up. I thought I made this practice up, dream re-entry, only to find out that this is a very fancy thing that's been practiced in all kinds of like Walter Reed research and Harvard, and they call it IRT, image rehearsal therapy. It's where you imagine that you're back in the dream, but you have dominion, you change you're out the ending of the dream. So they stole it from me. I'll let them have it.
Yeah, if I could just say another quick thing about that, what they have found about going back and imagining the dream forward is that actually heals PTSD. And what's happening with a repetitive dream is that you're having PTSD. You're having something that's not resolved. So if your conscious mind is going back and helping your unconscious mind, you're working together, then that really starts to cook. And it's alchemical. It really begins a very profound transformation.
There was a little girl I worked with that had recurring dreams. There was a storm, kind of like the Wizard of Oz, kind of Dorothy, and her mom was getting sucked into a tornado, and she was getting sucked in, and she couldn't stop having this dream. So I worked with her in her waking state, and I would do the very same thing with an adult. I had her draw a picture of the dream. So she showed me the tornado and then her mom and her, like, the hands being far apart. And then I said, so if you were in control of this dream, if you could do anything, then what would happen? And so she talked about a few different scenarios. Finally, she said, oh my God. So she drew this storm kind of in this like squiggle, and she drew it in the shape of a heart, and then she drew it over here in the shape of a heart, and she drew herself and her mom in the center of the heart finding each other. So the storm took them apart. So she's autonomizing. She's becoming a little separate from her mom, but then she came back. But she had these adventures, and she said, I got to tell my mom all about what I did, and my mom told me about what she did, but we always can find each other. Done. Nightmares over. Goosies. And that's legit. You can do that. It's not cheating to pick up a dream where it left off in your waking state. And yes, data about all manner of PTSD with veterans, with people that have been raped and horrible things that have happened, and they dream about it. This practice can actually stop it and re-empower the dreamer. Yeah, there's more to say about that, but.
Do we have time for one more question?
Yes.
I've always had really powerful dreams, but not every dream is powerful. I have ones that I call brain laundry, where it's just sort of da 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 da, and those just are kind of cool, and you just go through them. But then there's ones where you're like, whoa, that was something. And so I wanted to say, I don't think for me, not everything is a powerful dream, but when they're there, it's almost like the spacers are put in there so that when it's there, you're like, whoa, and I really take away this from, you remember it, like, visually.
Absolutely.
Like, so am I off on that, or, because I call it brain laundry.
She calls it brain laundry. So talking about two distinct kinds of dreams. There's the dreams that seem like dreams with a small d, and then there's the dreams with a capital D. So I agree, because I definitely have those kind of dreams that feel like they're no big deal, like whatever. And then there's the ones that feel very emotionally rich and profound and vivid. However, what I've discovered working with thousands of people, thousands of dreams over 25 years now, or more, almost 30 years, Jesus, there's no throwaway dream. Even the little dream laundry or mind laundry dream or whatever you called it, if you pick up one little speck of that, I've had so many people say, I don't really remember anything. Okay, well, there's this one thing, and they bring it, and we work on it, and it's like, what? I know people whose lives have changed entirely because they shined a light on the dream. At first blush, it looks like absolute garbage. I'm guilty of this myself. I will say, my husband will say, what'd you dream last night? I'm like, nothing. Oh, nope, every dream is valuable, I know. But I found that every single one has value. They're all gold. There's not a single throwaway in the bunch. And yes, we can't spend all of our time in our waking life focusing on our dreams. So I always say, just pick one. Just even if it's just one little symbol, one little piece of, it's kind of like being in Times Square during the ball drop at New Year's. Like, pick one little piece of confetti and work with that, at least that each day. That gives you access to the magic of that realm. So you're able to access it even with that little teeny piece. No throwaway dreams. Not a toss out in the bunch. One more. Can we do one more? Okay.
Just thoughts or interpretation on when you wake up, you come out of a dream, but it's so real.
Yes.
You almost have a hard time distinguishing between what really was a dream versus like reality.
Yes. Yes. And no. So she's talking about when you come out of a dream, because the dream is real. It is a very real parallel experience. And then you come into this realm and there's a bit of disorientation, kind of like, who am I? What am I? Yeah, to me, that's the bridge. And that's kind of there's all kinds of research. I don't have it at the top of my tongue, but to me, that stage, that in-between place, the hypnagogic and the hypnopompic stage, that's the fancy word for what you're talking about. It's a stage to meditate on, to marinate in, and to stretch out, not be so quick to become like be in your normal self, like kind of stretch out in that space a little bit, and I don't know, meditate in it until you find your way, because it's a sacred space to be in. You're really bridging worlds, your left brain and your right brain, your higher self and your ordinary self. I mean, it's quite a stunning place. And if we were more comfortable and more fluent in that space, I think we'd be able to carry some of that. I mean, a lot of people talk about the fifth dimension. Anybody here familiar with the 5D and that kind of? So really, we're in the third dimension right now, where we all drove here, and we're kind of in 3D. The fourth dimension, we could say, is like the bridge, is the dreaming space that is the bridge between realms. The fifth dimension, from my perspective, it's kind of where it's at. It's kind of how you naturally are when you're in love. You're looking at me cynically. I want to hear.
No.
But like,
I'm actually thinking of one of your exercises.
Oh, okay.
To look at your world 5 times.
Oh, 5 times more. 5 times more. So like, has anybody here ever been in love? Even just a little? You were in the fifth dimension. Everything suddenly looks rosy. Everything's more beautiful. Things that were aches and pains, you don't really feel them. You like, everything is so cute and sweet and beautiful. Like, that's you in the fifth dimension. So that's where we're headed, I think, as a species, to get super woo-woo. And I think if more of us lived there, we would be a kinder, more beautiful version of what our species is capable of. So that's my master plan, is to have all of us, to have the whole world dreaming. Remember that you're dreaming, talk about your dreams, bridge the gap to the dreams, because I think it makes us better problem solvers at the very least, and it makes us more humane and kinder and brighter and more magnetic to the things we want on the highest side of things. So that's my master plan. That might be a good...
That's a beautiful description of what's in this book.
That's the subtext. Thank you so much. Give yourselves a round of applause.
Thank you.
And how do we say your name again? Semi. Semi, give Semi a round of applause for holding it down for us. And again, this Godmother's place. I didn't get to tell my Godmother's dream, but maybe I will afterwards. Maybe we go to dinner afterwards or something.
Absolutely.
I'll share it with you then. All right. Thank you.